Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this special meeting of Nigerian teachers community. It's always a pleasure to have teachers join us from around the world. It's your community, and we are very pleased to have the opportunity to serve you using the platforms that we have created. We are the largest teachers community in the world. On Facebook, we have over 1 million teachers there. And we are very vibrant. Researchers from all over the world coming there to understand what's going on, especially within the African space. A lot is going on there. On a 24/7 basis, teachers are sharing ideas on how to run better classrooms across the world, where our members come from over 100 countries. So we have researchers from the US, from UK, from Canada, from Finland, from across Africa. There's no continent that is not represented there. And we are delighted to be able to make this contribution. And one of the things that we are known for is the fact that we share opportunities that are uncommon. Some of us have read the book Acres of Diamond. A lot of times we are sitting on opportunities that we do not recognize and take advantage of. So having been privileged to know that these opportunities are there, what we're trying to do is to ensure that our teachers do not just continue to complain that they are not paid well and that they are not finding the kind of jobs they're looking for. We want to be able to empower you to see more than you're seeing, give you a new lens with which you look at the world we live in. The world we live in today is certainly offering much more than the world we used to live in some 20, 30 years ago. So anyone who tries to give you the impression that things are harder now, that person is probably speaking from the angle of an individual who is not following trends, who is probably not as exposed as some of us are. As I probably have already indicated, I'm Dr. Peter Gutoro. I lead the community. This community, I founded it in the year 2016, and it was inspired by the need to try and transform classrooms across the African continent. Because when I finished my doctoral program in Europe, I earned my PhD at the University of Reading, where I studied education and a PhD in education with emphasis on career management. And I had the opportunity to go to several other universities. I was at the University of Sheffield. I was also at the University of Cambridge, where I went to learn some special aspects of education. And then from there, again, several other scholarships, traveling to diverse countries around the world. I was in Finland, I was in Norway, I was in Sweden. And the things I have learned over the years have empowered me to be able to do what we're doing. Most of the work we do, we are offering these services essentially for free. And so you come to a platform, you hear the things that will create opportunities for you. What we insist on is that you should not be only hearers of what we say, you should also be doers. So when you hear about the opportunities that are there for you to improve your welfare and empower your family through better income and through probably traveling abroad where there are opportunities for fellowships and even for scholarships for you to study and gain better skills and maybe return here to even start a school that will become a model which other schools can copy. And maybe with time, you never can tell. Someday they might say, because of your contributions to the industry, they make you Minister of Education or Commissioner for Education in your state. So we are always proud to see products of what we're doing becoming individuals, men and women who are making very positive contributions to the development of the education industry in the states they come from, in the countries they come from, and of course, helping to make teaching a very honorable profession. So today, we want to take the next step. What we'll be emphasizing this hour will be to throw light on some of the opportunities that you probably have not understood. Technology is making life much easier now. Some of you are still at the level where you sit down and you take your notepad and you're writing notes in lesson note for 30 minutes, 1 hour. Those are some of the things that you can now do in only 2 minutes. So why are we still spending hours preparing lesson notes, consuming so much of our energy and putting it in the direction that is not as productive as it should be? And of course, some of you come from engineering background. You probably studied chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, and maybe up to 50% of your coursework focused on physics. And now what you do is to teach mathematics and maybe physics in a secondary school in Nigeria. And you have always been aspiring to travel out of the country, maybe go to the UK or go to Canada or United States of America, you don't know what to do. The truth is that if if there was significant emphasis on physics in whatever you study, whether it's geophysics or geology, so long as you can prove it that you have very good background in physics. UK does offer wonderful opportunity for you to come, and they will give you stipends monthly. And whereas other people are going to cough out thousands of pounds from their pocket to pay to go through postgraduate certificate in education, you can receive that education for free because the Department for Education in England will be willing to pick up the bill. They will pay a school fee directly to the university where you're going to study. And then you just come over, get good education, become a certified teacher, earn your QTS. So if you choose, you stay back in the UK, become a professional teacher, and earn good money, get respected within the environment. But if you see opportunities outside of the UK after receiving your training, you can also maybe go to Dubai, go to Qatar, go to Australia, and any other country in the world where that credential does make a difference. And of course, QTSN from England is something that empowers you. If you choose to return to Nigeria, you can work in any international school. International schools here, British International School, American International School, etc. Most of the people teaching in those places didn't get their teacher training in the UK. So if you manage to go and receiving your education for free, and you come back here, I tell you, some people are working and earning salary that is more than £1 million in Nigeria. And then they also offer services by way of home lessons. There are some teachers, especially in the Lekki axis, and not only the Lekki axis, even in Ikeja, they live in one place, but they are rendering services to parents, especially Nigerian parents who have migrated out of Nigeria. They have gone to US, UK, and Canada. They still miss the teachers who were working with their children, offering them home lessons. Some of them retain those kinds of teachers. And so if you get excellent qualifications, and you will be able to improve your income and live as if you are working in Shell or in Chevron. Unfortunately, most teachers are not aware of this. And some of them, even when you call attention to the possibility that they can get access to these platforms, there's so much doubt. They use their small word in the small schools where they're working in Imo, in Anambra, in Kano, in Ogun State. Sometimes you even find teachers in Lagos who are not aware that 75,000 naira their earning is not how much they're coming to earn, because they go to work. Some of them wake up as early as 4 o'clock, and they head in the direction of their school, getting there maybe 7:30, and they're working till 5 o'clock. Some of them go to work even on Saturdays, and they're putting in sometimes up to 12 hours, and they're still earning, not up to 100,000. And we know that even people who do remote work are earning as much as 75,000, 100,000, etc. So why should you be putting in 12 hours and you are not earning as much as people are earning putting in only a few hours of work? So today we are going to hear from people who have created platforms that make these things possible, and those who are also benefiting from these platforms. I know that in the house, as I speak, we have a software engineer who graciously has benefited from the services of a particular country in Africa that are very interested in smart people like him. So they took him away from Nigeria and kept him in their country and brought in resource person from around the world. And they kept training him for up to 6 months. And then now he's a world-class person. And so he has created a platform that makes it possible for teachers to get good remuneration that is commensurate with the knowledge, the skills, and the efforts they're putting in. And so we want to expose you to that platform, at this hour, so that you stop complaining about not earning enough money. And those of you who also maybe you teach in primary school or even in secondary school, and you are struggling to get your students to learn mathematics and earn good grades in it, or cure them of the phobia that is associated with mathematics. We also have somebody in the house who can help us identify some of the factors responsible for that phobia and probably give some tips on how you can overcome it. And that's important to us. And we have somebody who has a very interesting idea that has to do with, some of you like entertainment, you like music, But merely entertaining yourself and not making money from it is no longer a good idea. So if you like music, there is a platform now that makes it possible for you. You don't have to be a professional musician. So long as you have ear for good music, you can create your own using a simple app, and it doesn't take too long to learn how to do it. So opportunity will also be there for you to learn how to create music using simple apps and then distribute it across the world and earn money on a passive basis, so that while you're sleeping, money is flowing into your account from Canada, from Indonesia, from China, from the UK, and probably from the United States of America, and from within the country. So much is going to be shared at this hour. So please get ready to move forward. As I have said at the beginning of my remarks, please make sure that as you hear us share these ideas, make sure you run with them. There's many people are where they are in terms of not making much progress because they procrastinate a lot, and so many people live in fear. They can't just take simple actions, and sometimes too they don't want to make some little investments of 3,000 there, 5,000 there, 20,000 there to get basics. For example, some people have been sitting down and aspiring to travel to US, to UK, to Canada, but they haven't even taken the first step of doing a passport, having an international passport. You want to go to the UK, you don't have an international passport, and you haven't done that, and you just sit down. You want to wait until a miracle happens and you get a visa. How are you going to get a visa if you don't have an international passport? So everything must be done in stages, and then you need to acquire some skills, hone your English language skills. If you can, write relevant exams, so that when you go for interviews, you'll be able to scale through. And you don't have to wait until you get to the point where you're invited for interview before you start preparing for it. Writing personal statements and getting several other things, sorted out. All of those things are things you have to learn in advance to do. And we are here to help you to acquire those skills in a way that is efficient. And hoping that as we empower you, you should show willingness to also empower members of your own communities. Some of you are members of our community, you benefit from what we're doing, but you are not telling your colleagues in the office to also come and benefit from what we're sharing. So it's not a good idea. The reason why you are here is because I went outside the country, I picked up ideas, and I came back and I'm sharing for free. So we too, we want you to share for free. We spend millions of naira annually making sure that these platforms are available. These things we're doing are not free. Even the Zoom platform we have is a paid Zoom. It's not the free one. We are not charging our members for getting these services, and we pay people to moderate our platforms. And we are all doing all that because we think that education remains the bedrock of development. So it's a very important contribution I think we're making, and we hope that as we're empowering you, you will join us to make your own contribution. First, by spreading the word that there are opportunities. If you have colleagues who teach physics and they studied it, who are engineers and they studied it, we don't expect that after today they will continue to suffer. And you, if you teach whatever you're teaching and you're very good in it, we expect that at the end of this meeting, between now and next week, you have started creating courses, and somebody will give you ideas regarding where you can launch your courses and earn money from those courses. So we wouldn't be happy to hear anyone who participates in this hours meeting continue to complain that life is hard or school owners are not treating them well. We want you to empower yourself. If people are not treating you well, take yourself out of a hole that you believe you don't belong to. I think it was Ngugi wa Thiong'o who wrote Weep Not Child, who made the point that does it make sense? He put it in the form of a question for you to remain in a hole when you can take yourself out. So we are giving you the ladder with which you can climb out of every hole you're in today. So please make sure you make the best use of it. So we go to the UK now to interact with Mr. Gbenga Familoku, who is at Greenwich University currently. Mr. Gbenga Familoku, are you in the house? Mr. Gbenga Familoku, are you in the house? Okay. As soon as he joins us, we will surprise look out for him. As soon as you see him on the list of participants, let me know so we can bring him in to share his experiences with us. as it concerns people who can benefit from the opportunity he too is graciously benefiting from. So let's hear from Joseph. Joseph, you were sharing a very interesting idea with me regarding how people can produce their own music and make money from it, especially on a passive basis. Joseph, can you share that with us?
Yes, Doc, I just did. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're listening to me. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity. I got the idea early January, and being a career person, like in education, so we have complained a lot, and some people have actually said how our reward is in heaven and all that. I don't believe always so. We need to, you know, leave something for the children, all right, for our generation to come. So when the person told me that, I'm like, I need to verify, first of all, how this thing works so that I don't come to a community like this and lie to them. So I waited till early February when I received a royalty payment from the app. I wouldn't want to, mention the app here, so to make it intentional. So what happened? So when I received the royalty, I was impressed. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was real. And as a teacher, to be honest with you, we cannot bequeath our job position to our children. They need something that will last forever. So I will be able to teach you how I was able to be taught by the person. I will tell you, you don't need to be a musician. Like I said before, you don't need to know how to sing. But if you want to develop yourself as a singer, it does not really matter. I can put you through so that in case you may be called maybe by your church to come and present the song, definitely you'll be able to do that. So as I was discussing with you, it's a very beautiful platform, and it does not take time, for you to, go through it and master it. You can produce as many songs as possible and monetize it. Monetization is the most important thing here. You don't just enjoy the song alone. You get to understand that people stream it on various platforms, and then at the end of the month, the app sends your royalty to you. The only difference is that there is a threshold you will get to before you withdraw, and it is withdrawable. There is no hanky panky here. So having witnessed it firsthand, I felt like I don't need to delay it. I need to bring it up to the very few people who are more interested, because this royalty is forever. This royalty is forever. Like, you own the copyright of your works. Every music you produce, it is your own forever. And the platform will continue to pay you. You become a paid partner of that platform. And mind you, it is very, very free. Yeah. As I'm talking to you, my music is being streamed. If you go to Facebook, it is right there, titled Serene Love. Yeah, Serene Love is my name. Go to Facebook, go to TikTok, go to WhatsApp, go to Snapchat. You will see the title there of the artist, Serene Love. Okay, so that's exactly why I felt like I needed to reach out when I saw the update from Doc. I felt that I need to reach out to, and now if you see what is happening in the next 10 years, that's what I'm thinking about. Where do we see ourselves as teachers? Will our children be proud of us, or will they just see us as their parents and that's all? When we die, they easily forget us because we left no, impact, in their lives that is so tangible. It may not be property, but you see that social media handles today are being inherited. The same thing is applicable to your music platform. After earning from it, your children, even your grandchildren, will still retain the same platform. And it is real. That's how digital the world has become now. So that's how I'm going to teach the very much people who are much interested. If you don't need to know how to sing, if you also want to sing, the app can help you, back you up with instrumentals. It is mostly for those who always have songs, but they don't have money to go to the studio to produce their song. This you are very much welcome. I'm going to help you, and then make your song to be so wonderful, so that when your church calls you, you can become a full-time artist. All right. So I can take questions from there, because it's from the question I'll be able to explain more. Doc, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it.
All right, Joseph, thank you very much. We'll get back to you with some questions, but let's go to Gbenga in the UK so that we don't lose him. He's here with us now. Mr. Gbenga Familoko, are you with us in the house?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Peter. I'm with you, sir.
All right. Can you tell us where you're joining us from, so that we know missiles will not fly in here from where we are not expecting them to come?
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I'm streaming live from University of Greenwich, from Southeast London, sir.
From Southeast London. Okay, so what are you doing there?
Yeah, I'm studying PGCE with QTS in physics.
Okay, so have you always lived in the UK, or you used to be here and something took you there?
I used to be in Nigeria, so I left Nigeria last year, August. I think 30th of August for this program.
Okay, for this program. So,
yes, sir.
How does the program work?
Okay, yeah. So thank you everyone for listening to me this evening. So I want to share a very powerful opportunity, especially for those who studied physics, engineering, mathematics in some cases. So the opportunity is the PGC in physics with QTS in the United Kingdom. So when you're talking about United Kingdom, we know it's very large. However, the program is only designed for England. Yeah, it's only for England. So the other 3 countries is not included. So it's a kind of study that you will likely to get paid, just like myself. However, if you are from Nigeria, the only course that they give a bursary to is physics. The bursary is £29,000. So this bursary is meant to cover the school fees, living expenses, basically. So it's a very good course that will make you be a skilled worker in the United Kingdom. However, I would like you to know that the main target is for you to get the QTS, because the bursary is actually for encouraging you to attain the QTS, that's qualified teacher status. Before now, they used to do that in the Nigeria, but I will encourage people that studied physics, engineering, and mathematics that they should not try to obtain their QTS in Nigeria. Sometimes 4 years ago, sometimes 4 years ago, it is still 4 years ago and below, people are still given the privilege to get QTS in Nigeria to be able to come into the UK. But since 3 years ago now, they've not been recruiting teachers from Nigeria again. Yeah, they are not recruiting teachers from Nigeria. So that's the reason why they actually bring this in place, most especially for physics. You will have to come to the UK to go through PGCE. It's a school placement. So for the whole 9 months, you will be in 2 or 3 different schools in the United Kingdom, in England, whereby when you teach, you'll be under mentorship. So I think that opportunity in Nigeria then was not really done effectively, because the mentors are actually in Nigeria that did not go through the proper training. So I suspect that's the reason they scrap recruiting from Nigeria. So if anyone is obtaining QTS now in Nigeria, it is not really a good one. However, if you are able to come to the United Kingdom, from the 29,000, you pay your school fees and you will be collecting the monthly remuneration. Compared to you coming to do masters, after your masters, you can only do skilled jobs such as maybe care job, security, etc. There is no office or a white collar job for you when you get here after your masters. So you have to do those jobs you likely shying away from in the Nigeria. So it's only this PGC with QTS that you don't even need to stress yourself paying school fees, that will guarantee you a skilled career, not unskilled career. Like I said the other time, This bursary covers tuition fee, living expenses, and is always paid monthly after the balance of the school fees have been removed. Yes, so and we have additional bonuses. Some people might be privileged that they will be given SKE. The SKE is subject knowledge enhancement. The duration is about 12 to 16 weeks. So before you even leave Nigeria, you will be giving the money. So it could be the money that you likely use for your maybe visa fee, your flight tickets, and your IEKS money. However, it is not always guaranteed, but in most cases, we have some schools that are actually generous with that. And we have some schools, for instance, my own school, University of Greenwich, they are not generous with that. So we have some schools that are generous with that. So when it is the right time, then we'll be able to, I will tell you more about the SKE. Now, once again, if you have degree in physics, engineering, mathematics, yeah, it's a really good one for you. And also, the tuition fee is between 14,000 to 80,000 pounds in most average schools for this program. Yeah, so after the program, you become an ECT. The full meaning of ECT is early career teachers. Yeah, and the salary starts with 32,000 pounds and above, depending on the borough you have in the UK or depending on your area in the UK. So if you are in central London, yeah, the salary is about 40,000 pounds, yes, for a starter. And if you are in London Borough, it could be about 36,000. And if you are in the Midland or other part that is not around London, the list is actually 32 pounds. Even though you later decide to go to Northern Ireland, Wales, or any other area, is 32,000. That is the least one. All right. So this pathway is actually very powerful because it gets you a professional UK qualification. It makes you enter a high demand career. So you will be financially supported while studying, and it will build a secure future. Before I come to Lagos State, yes, I used to be in Ondo State as a teacher in normal private school that collects 20,000 naira. Getting to Lagos, I was able to discover Dr. Peter. That would be in 2019. Yeah, I worked with Dr. Peter till I think 27th or 26th of August last year before I relocated. So because I doubt myself, because I'm not from a sophisticated background, yeah, my family are not poor, but I just thank God for the whole thing. So he actually made me see, we were three teachers then. All of us, we are not with him now. Because he never hide the opportunity from us. He shows us the way that, okay, we should do this, and everything is working for us. So I am the last born that left in. So I really thank God for sharing this opportunity with you. So if you now decide that, okay, probably you don't like the UK, it's actually a pathway for you to move abroad. Then you will be sellable. From here, the QTS is recognized globally, internationally. From those people that left the UK or that had this qualification before us, they always address us the way I'm addressing you now. Like the school lead there will actually tell them to talk to us on Zoom or on Teams, just like we are doing now. So most of them are in Canada with this same QTS. They are sellable. So you won't expect a recruiter or a school to want to recruit. They would rather prefer to go to Nigeria before the United Kingdom. They will always want to employ teachers who have international experience because teaching in Nigeria is actually different from teaching in the United Kingdom. Once again, I would like you to know that it is not necessary you have a teaching experience in Nigeria before you come down to before you come for this program. It has nothing to do with it. I can't even say, probably I can hardly say maybe it's not really even necessary you have that teaching experience here in Nigeria because everything you have learned in Nigeria or all those things you've learned in Nigeria, by the time you come here, teaching actually made easy because we have core areas of teaching. We only probably take note of two in Nigeria, like pedagogy, which is the teaching we are really doing very fine there, and probably, yeah, we are doing very fine in teaching. But behavioral management, I don't really think we put that into recognition because probably anything goes in Nigeria. Some schools allows you to flog the student. Some schools we have to go and report to the some top schools like all these Abyssina, Park British School, BIS. you have to go and report to, because I am privileged to work with some of those schools as well before leaving under Dr. Peter as well. So once you go to those schools like that, you go and report to the head of the school before you be able to, before any punishment or any measure is being taken against the student. It is not like that here. So there are always policies safeguarding and many more. That's what other countries are considering before recruiting teachers. So when you are in the UK, you are actually sellable. No doubt about that. Then you can now decide on your own. Okay, you don't really pay much before you enter into the UK. You can decide to leave the teaching line. Then you go, if it is care job or any other job that is made available for you, then you can actually go there. So finally, I would like you to know that if you are serious about this whole thing, it's better you start earlier because opportunity don't last forever. There is always time for everything. So it's still available now, and I think it's still available for the next session as well. Yeah. So that's what I would like to say for now, Dr. Peter. Thank you, sir.
All right, great. Can you give us an idea regarding like how many universities in the UK are offering this platform?
Yeah, so by the start of every September, 107 universities, yes, approximately 107 universities
offer the PGCE with QTS.
Yes, with QTS that sponsor students. We have over 700 citadels of learning, but not all of them can sponsor students. So the only said about 107 schools sponsor students.
Okay. All right. So by way of summary, let's probably even before the summary, what you were trying to remind everyone here, especially those who know you, and for those who didn't know you, you used to be a teacher under my supervision. My own children have benefited from your expertise. I hired you along with a few other teachers when my children were not getting the kind of education we desired. For them. And you worked with them, you taught them physics, you taught them mathematics, you taught them further mathematics. I remember my younger son who was studying sciences in the school he was in, but things were not going as we desired. So we decided to pivot to homeschooling. So you were among the teachers that I hired, and then I trained you along with your colleagues to come and teach them at home. And it became obvious that you are very good in physics, mathematics, and further maths. And I can confirm that as a result of the good work you did, that young man the two of them, the first one is now a management scientist in the US, and the younger one is finishing his degree program in a month's time in the US too. He is specializing in physics and mathematics. He already has, even before he's written his final exam, he already has admission for doctoral program. And that's because you laid a good foundation for him. So he's finishing with an excellent GPA, which has impressed universities across the US to show interest in his skills. So many universities are giving him admission for the next test in terms of graduate studies. And what you were also trying to call my attention to was the fact that apart from you, we also had somebody who was teaching them English, another person was teaching chemistry and biology. All of you, I insisted that because you guys were smart, I didn't want you to just sit down here and waste away. I also created opportunities for you and those other guys, and that's how come you're in the UK. We shared ideas that we have come across. I studied in the UK myself, and so knowing that these things are possible, I insisted that people shouldn't stay in Nigeria and keep complaining. Shade, who was teaching them chemistry and biology, is about rounding off her PhD program in the United States of America at the University of Illinois in Chicago. Today, she is becoming one of the best brains in her area of research, and she got fully funded program to do a 5-year PhD program in the US, and she didn't have to task her family to finance anything. Everything was, all the bills were picked up for free. And of course, Okole, who was also teaching English, has also traveled. So these opportunities are there, and I'm happy that all of you, apart from working with my children, you also took my advice and you have tried to improve improve yourself. So we are trying to also make these opportunities available to as many people as possible. So by way of summary of the particular program you have just discussed, which you are on in the UK, how it works is that if you are good in physics and you studied it, it's not just that you teach it. If you studied economics, and you happen to be able to teach physics, it won't work for you. You have to be able to prove that you spend some time in the classroom learning physics.
I'm sorry, doctor. I think I need to come in again at that point.
Yeah.
Now, if the person studied physics, engineering, and mathematics in some universities, because it's always believed that, okay, if you study mathematics and you have teaching experience, the personal statement will sell you. If you study mathematics and you have been teaching physics, because most math teachers teach physics in schools in Nigeria. So the personal statement combined with mathematics, industrial math will sell you. But if you have studied physics, engineering, either you've been a teacher or you've not been a teacher, then the old 107 school is looking out for you.
Yeah. So what you're saying is if your certificate proves you studied mathematics, the journey is easier. But even if you didn't study mathematics, if you studied a corollary subject like mathematics and you have been teaching physics and you're good in it, and you can write a good personal statement. Of course, I can work with anybody who is in that kind of situation. You can write a good personal statement to prove that you have been doing this, and maybe the school owner, your employer, can also write recommendations to support that. And then when you go for interview, because they are going to interview you before they give you admission, and you are able to impress them, they are going to test you, give you some questions to test your knowledge of physics, and you are able to meet the expectation, then you go in. But certainly, if you are coming from the arts, it's going to be difficult for you to convince them. So if you studied economics or English language, and you now say you teach mathematics, you teach physics, you have to work much harder to be able to convince those universities in the UK. So once you are able to pass the interview, you are good to go. You don't have to use your money to travel to the UK to go and study. So the relevant authorities in the UK will make budget for 29,000, which will be available to you. And then what it means is that the university that has accepted you to come and study to become a professional teacher will definitely ask you for fee. But the money that the Department for Education has made available to you, from that 29,000, if your school fee is 15,000, you take 15,000, pay the university, and the balance is to take care of your living expenses. That's how it works. So that way, you don't sit down in Nigeria and say, my parents are poor, I don't have a family that can support me to go and study in the UK. England is happy to sponsor you because they are having shortage of physics teachers, and they want to see if they can attract the best brains in that field from around the world. So don't sit down in Nigeria and complain. Reach out to me after this, send a WhatsApp message, and let's put you on a separate group that we are going to mentor and see how we're going to work with you to get there. 29,000, if when you convert it to Naira, is certainly close to 60 million Naira. That's what England is happy to let you have, because they want to attract the best brains in that area. So don't sit down here and complain and say things are not working out. And when you are done with your training, you can use that skill to do whatever you're going to do. There's no bonding. They don't insist that you must teach in a particular school after your PGCE. It's their certificate. So it's easy way to leave the country, to get there. But we encourage you to also stay in the system and serve them, to give back to the system that has made it possible for you to receive good quality education. We can take one question at this point regarding PGCE with QTS. If there's anybody in the house who wants to learn one or two things more about it, and we can answer that question before we move on to the platform that works for every teacher, no matter the subject you're teaching. If you raise up your hand, we'll unmute you, and then you're able to talk if you have a question to ask on this particular one. Otherwise, I bring in Mr. Oseji, Alex. So, Alex, you want to come in now and share with us how teachers can monetize their intellectual property? How easy is it? Is it possible in Nigeria of today? Because we keep hearing that teachers are not earning good money and that their reward is in heaven. So have you and your colleagues been able to create a platform that will make it possible for teachers to get their reward, some of their rewards here, and also guarantee a place for them in heaven? Alex.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, I would like to confirm if I'm audible enough. Everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, Dr. Peter, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much. And good day, distinguished educators and thought leaders and champions of knowledge from around the world. I'm very much excited to be here because the topic of conversation is something that is from our hearts. It matters to us, from our team, and personally, it also matters to me. I think I've been someone who personally enjoyed tutelage from quality teachers. And that's the reason why I see that one way or the other, I'm able to thrive globally. And when I think about today's generation, I think about how they can also get that level of quality impact when it comes to knowledge sharing and access to quality training. And that's what informed why we're doing what we're doing. It's an absolute honor to be here to stand before the community that shapes the future every single day. And because teachers are not just educators, you are nation builders, you are innovators, you are the bridge between potential and possibility. That's what informed why we're doing what we're doing again. So my name is Alexander Oseji. I'm the co-founder for Halos. And Halos is a creator economy powered for learning and earning. It is a platform that's built for the future of education. So what we've done is we imagine a situation where people do not have to necessarily learn within the four walls of the formal institutions to acquire knowledge. And that's where the future is headed. And we went ahead to build systems, processes, and platforms that can make this happen. And like I mentioned, it's born out of the need to serve people and serve this community as well. And I think we'll get there. So we're living in a time where knowledge is no longer confined to classroom. That's the essence of what I'm saying. And learning is no longer linear. What that means is that it's dynamic. The interest of the younger generation is adapting and changing. So as teachers, we also have to be able to create curriculums and courses that adapt to the interest and needs of this young generation of people. We also realize that millions of talented teachers and experts across the world remain somehow, in quotes, limited by outdated systems. A large proportion of them are underpaid, they are under-leveraged, and often they disconnect with global opportunities. And that's what informed why we're doing what we're doing. So teachers are no longer confined to their own geographic location. They can have access to the world. They can have access to people from different communities all over the world and be able to render quality services to these people and be also to get the reward from rendering those quality services. And why this is important is because when we look at some other professions, like my brother just talked about music. When we talk about music, you find that artists are able to enjoy royalties from their work. Actors and actresses are trying to also implement technology to also enjoy royalties. I think the Nollywood team are trying to do that, but in other parts of the world, they already live. It's already a reality for them to, work today and reap the rewards of their work today for the future. And then that way, there's a generational transfer of their effort and their inputs. So Halos is a platform where teachers don't just teach, they create, they earn, and they scale their impact globally. And like I've mentioned, we'll factor in the royalty approach to ensure that that intellectual property of knowledge transfer that they've contributed to the world would have a long-term impact to them, because that's very important. So we empower creators to create live interactive classes anywhere in the world. They can monetize their knowledge seamlessly. They can build communities around their expertise. And we leverage technology to add other things like gamification and all that to make the process both enjoyable to the students and then to the teachers as well. It's beyond just knowledge, it's about technology. And technology is here to stay, if we all agree. So the question is, how do we, leverage technology to our benefit. That's where Halos comes in. So it's about something deeper. It's about restoring the value of knowledge. It's about putting power back into the hands of educators. Yes, and that's one of the ways to transform society. It's about unlocking a new economy, and that is the knowledge economy. I'm sure that's not a new word. It's not a new fancy buzzword. We hear a lot about that, the knowledge economy, digital entrepreneurship. Those words are not new. So we want to make that a reality. It's about teaching. It's about bringing the educators to the limelight. It's about giving them access to global opportunity. So, like I've mentioned, we imagine a world where teachers in Lagos, in Abuja, in Akwa Ibom, in Abia, in Enugu can have access to global community of students from anywhere in the world, from Kenya, from South Africa, from Morocco, from Algeria, from Dubai, from the US, the UK, and other parts of the world. Imagine a situation where a subject expert in Kenya can also build global classrooms. Imagine a situation where a passionate educator can earn fairly for the value that they create. That's what informed why we built this platform. So we have begun the journey. It's a strong platform. Why we're having this conversation is to see how we can start from the grassroots adoption and then expand from city to city, from campus to campus, with the vision of connecting the world through learning. And we've been able to do this and pilot this some weeks ago when Enugu State, UNN, UNEC, and other campuses, Gofwe, SUT, IMT, to help create early adopters for the platform. And it's already going well. We cannot do this alone, and that's why we're here to support, to partner, to listen, to learn, to co-create the future of education with stakeholders like you. We believe that the future of learning is not just digital, it is collaborative, it is creator-driven, it is borderless, and it has to be powered by teachers like you. So I invite you to join us on this journey as we pioneer a new global learning movement. So together we can redefine education, we can empower teachers all over the world, and we can build the future together. So thank you so much. I'll be open to take questions from everyone, and we'll also be open to doing a demo of how the platform works and how we can take it to the next level. So thank you so much.
All right, Alex, thanks for finding time to come to talk about this possibility. When teachers create their courses, which they can launch on your platform and earn money from anywhere in the world, are they supposed to pay you to launch their courses?
No, they're not supposed to pay. So the barrier to entry, we ensure that the barrier to entry is there are no barriers. Okay. So we took out the payment fee. You don't have to pay. All you just need to do is to sign up, create a class, you get the link, and then you're good to go. Okay, so it's the learner that pays, it's not the course creator that pays. It's the learner that pays, actually, because it's a transfer of knowledge from the educator to the learner. So the learner. So if you're a university lecturer and maybe you teach something you think people should benefit beyond the confines of your university, you want it to be scaled to a level that millions of people can benefit from it. If it's put on that kind of platform, even if it's just 5,000 each person pays to come and learn from you, if you multiply 5,000 by, let's say, 50,000, or if you're lucky and it's a popular course and people recommend it, that's a lot of money. So with that, you don't have to sit down there and be complaining that Federal Ministry of Education, they don't know what they're doing or they know what they're doing. Just can empower yourself and the money you want in the way you want it and at the time you want it. And I think what I like about the platform you have created is the fact that whereas when we work in classrooms, most of the time, even when we say Nigerian classrooms are overcrowded, you still are not likely to find a classroom that has 10,000 students. But with your platform, if you're lucky and your course is popular, you may be teaching 50,000 students because it's a borderless kind of platform. There are no barriers to how many people you can reach in the world. Am I capturing it correctly? Exactly, sir. You've adequately captured part of what we envisage. And that's why, leveraging technology is important, because with technology, there's no limit to, location, and there's no boundary. You're not limited by space, actually. So it gives you unlimited potential and access and opportunity to just focus on ensuring that there's knowledge transfer from you to the students.
And then I'm aware, however, that teachers in this part of the world, people are always interested in only taking and not giving. The people don't want to invest to get what they want. Everything must be for free. Even when we say you can go to the UK and study physics, and England pays all the fees, you still have to use your own money to buy to prepare your international passport. You have to use your money to process your visa. Most of the time, Nigerians want everything for free. So you are going to get a benefit that is worth about 60 million, and you don't want to invest 1 million to get there. That's why a lot of people suffer. So you have to be willing to make some, invest in yourself. For a teacher who wants to start creating content and put on your platform, should know, for example, how to produce videos. And I know that your platform also, for creators, they too have things they can learn. So if you go to that platform, you can also learn how to do videos that complement what you want to teach, and several other things, digital marketing, etc., may also be there. So invest in yourself, and those of you who are willing to really go the extra mile to ensure that this works for you. If you're happy and you are anywhere near Lagos, I'm always happy to assist teachers to acquire public relations and marketing skills. So for a course that will be costing other people minimum of $500,000, when it comes to teachers, we let them have it for less than half the cost. And even if they don't have all the money, they can pay it in installments, so that you don't just sit down there and say, I don't have money. You don't really have to borrow money to go and through those kinds of things. When I'm involved, we can work out a payment in installment that enables you to get the skills you need, so that you know how to create the content. Because it's much as we recognize that some people are experts in what they teach, they may not know how to put it in a form that will be appealing to people who are in the global community. So your platform definitely has courses that teachers can also use to learn these skills and pay little amount of money to get the skills that they need. And when we had this conversation, I did insist that if our members, if teachers in Nigeria and beyond have to take any cost to be able to prepare for launching their own courses, that you must be willing to give them, special discount because they're teachers. And of course, all they need to do is to plug in Nigerian teachers as a code, and they'll be able to get it for less than what other people are paying for it. So that is information that I think that everybody needs to pay attention to. Now, for those who want to start launching their courses and any money immediately, is this something that people can start benefiting from in the next one month, or do we have to wait till next year? Are you ready? Is the platform something that is already up and running?
Live.
Okay.
We already have active creators, educators, and instructors on the platform, taking live classes on a consistent basis. So it's live and it's good to go. So after this call, it's just a 2-minute setup. But part of what we can do is because we have the teachers at heart, and we look at it also from a social impact standpoint to ensure that the skill, the knowledge transfer from A to B is done. And we believe that is part of our contribution to nation building and to development. And that's what the teachers are already doing, but we want to see how we can scale it. And that's where technology comes in. Part of our greatest strength in Nigeria and Africa generally is a vibrant youthful population. How do we impact these youths with the skills and knowledge to bring about rapid development and nation building? That's our focus. And that's why our approach has been different, to ensure that from day one, we want to begin to see that teachers use the platform, enjoy the platform, and that they're earning sustainably from the platform. So it's ready to go, it's live, and we're good to go. We're happy to work with everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Further clarification, we want to define teacher in a wider context, because because we are a teachers community, there's a tendency for people to think that the people we're discussing this at this hour are only those who work in secondary schools, in primary schools, and in universities. But if, for example, you are good in parenting, you have learned some things that you think the average parent does not have. You can, create a content, create a curriculum which you can use to teach young mothers how to be mothers, how to be good wives. You can create content that will teach men how to be good husbands. And then you launch it. It can be just a 1-hour program, and then people will come who want to have more harmonious homes, and they listen to you for 1 hour and they pay you money. So teacher in this context should be seen in the widest sense possible. And that means that we are not limiting it to those who teach physics, chemistry, biology. Whatever it is that you can teach, you don't need a license to come and teach it. So long as it's content that benefits the people we are targeting. If some people don't know how to write letters and you think you can do it better, if some people don't know how to write emails and you have a curriculum that will enable them to write winning emails, if some people don't know how to write for grants and proposals, PhD proposals, and you can do it, you can create a program on that and launch it and teach people. It can be in series, maybe 2 hours every Saturday, over a period of 5 weeks, and people get everything they're looking for, and they pay for the service and they move on. So teacher is not in the conventional sense. If you're a banker, you too can be a teacher. You have learned some certain things, certain things about banking, and people are losing money to fraudsters, to 419 people, and you might have idea regarding how to ensure that your clients don't lose money. The people who will come to your course don't lose money. So you can create a course that teaches people how to work with their phones, especially in this age of mobile banking, so that people learn how to work online, making transfers and ensuring that they don't lose money. Whatever it is, if it's about how to even drink alcohol in a way that you can drink 10 bottles and you don't get drunk, and you have mastered it and you can prove it, which I doubt is a possibility. Whatever it is, that's just an illustration. Whatever it is, that benefits humanity, that doesn't injure humanity, come and teach it using the platform. And the whole world is their canvas. People can come from everywhere and benefit from it. So don't sit down there and complain. Whatever you are doing and you are not earning as much as you want to earn, know that you can start saying, okay, I'm doing this and I'm not getting adequate payment for it. Why don't I convert it to a course and then teach as many people as possible how to do that, and then we'll move on together. And then if you don't know how to create a course, we can also help you with how to acquire those skills, how to create a course, and how to teach. If you don't know how to teach, because this will require people listening to you, and you have to be able to get your communication out. We can also teach you how to do that and make it easy for you to be able to, because one of the challenges people tend to have is some people say, I think research has proven it, that after date, the next thing most people want to avoid passionately is public speaking. So if you're afraid of talking to other people, we can help you acquire the skills on how to talk in public spaces and earn money doing so. Yeah. And then sometimes you may need to have some numeracy skills to be able to do little calculations, to be able to relate to people at a digital level and globally, and even keep your own books, especially now that tax reforms is saying everybody must learn how to keep proper books. And while I'm talking about that, Mr. Ikenna or Hanaka, if you're in the house, can you come in? And in 2 minutes, can you share with us, why do you think mathematics looks like such a difficult subject? Why is everybody afraid of it? And we know that mathematics is more or less the king of all the subjects. It's a very versatile subject. Once you master it, you can use it in marketing, business administration, in engineering, in medicine, in pharmacy, in biochemistry, whatever it is we're doing in the world. Even when you're on the road riding bicycle or a car, you need to be numerate to ensure you drive safely. What are the obstacles to learning mathematics? Why do we all seem to have phobia for it? And how can we eliminate it?
Good evening, Dr. Gudoro Peter, and good evening, comrades. And from those of you beyond Nigeria, let me say good afternoon and maybe good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. Just like Doctor introduced me, my name is Ikenna Ohanaka. I'm a mathematical science consultant. And in fact, when I discussed briefly with him on the theme of this virtual meeting, he made me realize that there will be a very high need for me to come in and then address us briefly on the phobia ravaging mathematics and the abstractness ravaging chemistry and basic science. Let's take a look from mathematics in the first instance. This is a wonderfully created and designed subject. And it was designed in such a way that the communication aspect of it could be well introduced by a hybrid subject known as English language. But unfortunately, due to gross lack of definition of terms, that proper introduction is not done via English language or through English language. And when you look at the subject itself, it appears to be the only subject that lacks a basic definition for itself. In the group of subjects, every subject appears to have a definition, but mathematics appears to be the only subject that doesn't have a definition. So when I realized that our children, comprising the pupils and students, have issues of understanding mathematics, which has resulted to phobia, I began to ask myself, what could be the root cause of this particular problem? I realized that the problem is lack of definition of terms. And for a subject to lack definition, it went further to affect every other variable aspect of that beautiful subject. Like I said earlier on, it's designed in a coded language. And the only language that can decode it is English language. So there are missing links or lacunas attributed to mathematics. Now, let's take a look at the definition of mathematics. It is actually defined as a calculation-oriented subject comprising 4 variables and 4 basic operations only. The question now could be, what are these 4 variables? What are these 4 variables and these 4 basic operations? When you look at going to the farm, nobody goes to the farm without farm implements. So the 4 variables are the 4 tools we use in solving problems in mathematics. And these 4 variables comprises the alphabet comprising 26 letters. Secondly, we have the digits, figures, and numbers, 10 of them from 0 to 9. Then we have the signs or symbols, so numerous, which actually instruct us on what to do and how to go about them. Then we have the units. Then the 4 basic operations and how we use these 4 variables to solve problems in mathematics, either through division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So this is the concise definition of mathematics. When you move further from the primary through the junior secondary up to the high school, you realize that there are still issues. When you look at addition as a basic operation, the pupils hardly know the difference between addition, sum, and plus, or even addend. These are terms in mathematics that the children might take it that they mean the same thing. And when you tell them that it is not, they will tell you, but it's what our teachers told us. Then take a look at a topic like trigonometry. For those of you who teach the mid-school, junior secondary, and the high school, the senior secondary. When you look at the 3 concepts of special angles, you realize that when you arrange the 3 special angles, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees in a right angle triangle, you can easily pick the adjacent side of 30 degrees, the adjacent side of 60 degrees. But when it comes to the adjacent side of 90 degrees, it's an issue. And this is simply because if we can understand the concept of opposite and hypotenuse as complementary sides of a right angle triangle, we don't know the definition of adjacent as a complementary side of a right angle triangle. Then in the same mathematics, we today have a generation of children who are struggling with memorizing formulae. And I further researched and realized that every formula in mathematics comes from a direct proportion-based principle. And once that direct proportion-based principle is arranged, the formula comes out naturally. This is one of the products of my research. And once the topic is a direct proportion-based, the children don't need to memorize the formula involved in as much as it's a formula-based topic. Once they're able to set that problem on the principle of two-way equations in part and part, or part and whole, or whole and part, it naturally brings out the formula. So there are actually missing links. And my research in mathematics is to evoke about 99.9% of these missing links. All these are outlined in a set of 17 mathematics charts designed to take care of the lacunas or lacunae from the primary through the junior secondary up to the senior secondary. And these charts are designed in such a way that the teacher who teaches this subject have to be trained with these charts first at the school level. Then from there, the teacher will now transfer the knowledge to the pupils or the students. Then coming to chemistry, which is now introduced to our students in SS1 through another hybrid subject known as basic science. I also realized that there are missing links in chemistry, which have attributed chemistry to be widely acclaimed as an abstract subject. So you can imagine a situation where the heart of sciences, which is chemistry, is globally attributed as an abstract subject. And those that have made these attributes are not far from the truth. And what is this bitter truth? Long time ago, there used to be a popular nomenclature in chemistry for naming inorganic compounds, and this was known as the old nomenclature. And this old nomenclature is quite common among the elites or scholars in chemistry. Our professors today are doctorate degree holders in chemistry and master's degree holders. Then over time, as early as 1919, a meeting was held and the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry came together and thought that there's a need to change the nomenclature of chemical compound from this old nomenclature to a modern nomenclature known as the IUPAC nomenclature. The first set of rules to enable this be achieved were drafted in 1921 in France during one of East Meeting meetings. And after that, it was launched. We had the IUPAC nomenclature of chemical compounds. And to this particular international body, the IUPAC nomenclature portrayed the real chemistry in nomenclature, because when you look at a compound like H2SO4, which old nomenclature is stated as sulfuric acid, and then you compare it with the IUPAC nomenclature, which states it as hydrogen tetraoxosulfate 6, you will realize that in the formula H2SO4, you are hearing a 6 in the IUPAC nomenclature, which is not highlighted in the formula H2SO4. Then when you look at the old nomenclature, you're hearing sulfuric acid. The word sulfuric only tells you about the element sulfur, which is also there in H2SO4. There is S, which is sulfur.
Yeah, Mr. Hanaka, your internet is beginning to struggle a little bit. So can you, in one or two sentences, give us an idea regarding what's the way forward, especially for teachers who are desiring to ensure that they teach these subjects in ways that their children, their students, look forward to coming to classes to learn them. One or two sentences.
Thank you. The problems in chemistry were also outlined in a set of 14 chemistry or basic science charts. It's a product of a research I began in 1990 and ended it in the year 2020. And I've already commenced training teachers with this set of 31 mathematical science charts, 17 in mathematics and 14 in chemistry and basic science. So it is expected that teachers should key in and get interested in this training by informing their schools, because those charts are designed to eradicate completely the phobia in mathematics and the abstractness that is perceived in chemistry. And once they have that training, they'll be able to use the charts and then retrain or transfer the knowledge to their students who are in secondary and primary schools as pupils.
Okay. Are you able to move to schools that are happy to benefit from what you
Yes.
can do for the system? So I know you live in the north, somewhere in Plateau State. So if a school in Lagos or in Ibadan, where is willing to and happy to benefit from this, because I think it's something that is very critical. Maths is a very versatile subject. Chemistry is critical. I don't see why anybody who studies chemistry can start telling us that he doesn't have a job, because chemistry can be applied to. As a matter of fact, I think it's even more beneficial to study chemistry than even to study pharmacy, really, because you can use chemistry to run a pharmaceutical company. You can use chemistry to run companies like a Cadbury, like Nestle. Chemistry is more or less life. It's something that we breathe and we experience on a day-to-day basis in our homes. If there's nothing that we are touching that doesn't have a chemistry part of it, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then maths is critical. We all need to become more numerate, especially now that we're talking about digital world. One of the challenges Nigerian students are having is the fact that they struggle with, for example, Excel, Microsoft, Office, of the Microsoft Office apps. The one African students tend to struggle with the most with is Excel, because it has something to do with mathematics. And so once you acquire that, and today's employers, Microsoft itself as an employer, Google, WhatsApp, Meta, Facebook, etc. For you to work for them, the basic things you need to have, you must have them. You must be able to use Excel. And if you don't have a good math background, it's usually difficult for the person to pick up Excel. And it doesn't matter what you have studied before now. You can, if you show some humility, move on to get acquire this skill. So thank you for finding time to join us, and I'm happy you don't mind going to where our people are to assist them, especially those who teach in primary schools. One of the challenges we have with even what we're discussing is the fact that we're expecting miracles when children get to secondary school with respect to mathematical skills. We want them to become numerate, but we forget that most of the teachers who teach at primary school, they themselves have phobia for mathematics. Some people studied English education with little or no math content, but they end up running classrooms, so the children are being taught in primary schools by people who know little or no mathematics, and they now get to secondary school. You want them to have a good foundation that will enable them to eventually become scientists. And we know if we don't start investing in science and technology, Nigeria is not going to move forward. Yesterday I was looking at a piece of data, and I discovered that countries in the world were ranked. About 193 countries are on that list. Nigeria is at the bottom when it comes to life expectancy. Life expectancy here is 54.5, meaning that the average Nigerian dies at the age of 54, even before he's 55 years old. Whereas places like Hong Kong, people live to the age of about 86. In Japan, people live till about the age of 86. And these are places where people don't even do much of prayer the way we pray here. But what you find is that anybody living in Hong Kong is going to live minimum of about 30 years longer than a Nigerian. 30 years after a Nigerian is dead, somebody who had his level of education in Hong Kong is still alive and making useful contributions. If you live in Norway, the income of a Nigerian in 2 lifetimes is what a Norwegian earns in only 1 lifetime. And a lot of these things have something to do with the fact that we haven't invested in maths and in the sciences and then technology and engineering. The reason why China is doing very well is basically the fact that most of the people who constitute the inner caucus of people running China are engineers. It's an engineering cabinet. When you come to our own country, that's not what we find. Sometimes we have seen situations where we have even given a lawyer the opportunity to run our power industry. telling us how to generate electricity and to distribute it with law degree. And currently, we just check, everything we're doing. Most of the things seem to be upside down. And we just assume that once we have prayed, these problems are going to fix themselves. So what the research you do is a very important one. And please, when our people reach out to you and ask you to come over and do some maybe mass clinic for them, be willing to collaborate with the school owners and our teachers to be of help. And if we can find the time and the resources, we can also launch some opportunities like on Zoom like this and create the platform for you to interact with those teachers who want to improve their mathematical skills. So thank you for finding time to come. At this point, can we listen to Joseph?
Thank you so much.
Is the question you want to ask? Joseph, I can see your hand is raised. Is it in error, or do you really have a question? Surprise.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Doc. Good evening once more, everyone. I spoke before initially, so you say you will actually reemphasize that later. So I'm still waiting. That's why my hand is up, so that I can, for those who were not there, so they can also listen to me.
Okay, well, I know a few people came in after you had made that presentation. I think the basic thing you were trying to say is that rather than sit down and enjoy other people's music, you don't have to be a professional musician to also create your own music, so long as you have an ear for good music. And that there's a platform now that makes it possible for you to sit down in your house and create your own music and distribute it online, which people can download. And as people are downloading it, credit is going to you. And when it accumulates up to a certain point, you can cash out and take that money to solve your personal problems. And the people who can download your music don't all have to live in Nigeria. Some of them may be living in Canada, in UK, in India, in Israel, probably some in Iran, if they can find time to concentrate on the way forward, despite the current challenges they're facing. So I think that's basically the summary of what that opportunity is, which I think is a fantastic thing. Because one of the challenges we're facing these days with a lot of people is, people just go to the internet and they are consuming what other people are creating. So most people are consumers rather than
exactly. That's what I want.
Which doesn't make sense. Spend time. So the whole essence of this evening's interaction is to get people to know that rather than go to the internet to sit down and be consuming content, be the creator of the content, be the producer of content, which other people can consume and pay you money for. So when you go there, don't sit down. And evidence that we also have from research says that if you are a consumer of content rather than a creator of content, you are not making the best use of your cognitive abilities. And such people tend to come down with Alzheimer's. Such people tend to come down with dementia. After some time, they start forgetting things because all they do is sedentary job, and they just sit down there and be laughing and cracking, listening to jokes that people are cracking, which doesn't put money in people's pocket. So if you are smart, consume less, create more, produce more, deliver more on the internet, and make money from it, rather than let other people turn you into a mere consumer. Does that capture what we're trying to say before some people joined us, Joseph?
Yeah, exactly, Doc. Well captured. It cuts across those two as teachers, because I know teachers are talented. Yeah, it's not just in the classroom alone. So if you also want to be a professional musician, you want to combine singing with teaching too, you can also sing your own song. You can actually, you don't need to go to studio right now. It's a mobile studio of its own. It can give you instruments to back up your song, and before you know it, you can download it. It becomes your song you can use for outings, in during events. If it's a birthday song, you can sing it for people who actually have birthday parties, but anything you want. So what I'm saying in summary is the world has gone digital, just like Doc said. We are no longer having our hands tied, waiting for government to pay our salary right now. I have this joy when I know that there must be something that will come into my pocket before the end of the month, for me to use it to solve one or two problems. And I think that's what liberation from the shackles of poverty is all about. We can't continue to depend on the government. And I believe that in the next 10 years, just like there will be shortage of teachers, not because there are no teachers, but I think that teachers of this digital era are beginning to get wiser, because nobody is waiting for gratuity or pension that they will enjoy in old age. They are now looking for something that will keep them up and active during that old age. So they don't depend on it. They have to enjoy their life as much as possible. So if you are much interested, you contact Doc and he will know how to reach me so that I can teach you. It doesn't take days or months. It is something you can easily do. And then you can also teach others, because whatever we learned very late, we teach others early so that they can actually spread it across all the teachers to benefit from it. Thank you so much, Doc. I really appreciate it.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so if you were not there when we started this evening's conversation, some of the opportunities that some people have graciously shared with us include the fact that one, Wenga came in from the UK, where he is studying at the University of Greenwich. He is studying for postgraduate certificate in education, and his subject area is physics. He used to teach physics in Nigeria, and then when the opportunity came to go and learn how to teach, to be able to get certified as a teacher in the UK, he grabbed it with his two hands. Now, that opportunity is amazing. It's available to those who teach physics, who are very good in it, and probably who studied it. Those who also teach chemistry and mathematics, but by virtue of having contact with mathematics and chemistry, have also developed the capacity to teach physics. It's physics that is actually in focus with when this opportunity is being discussed. Such people can apply to go to the UK and study, and UK, the relevant agency in England will pick up the bill for your studies. They will give you £29,000. It's for free. And so you will use it to pay your school fees to the university that is offering you that course, which lasts about a year. And school fee tends to be between 14,000 and about 20,000. But it's not your money. They will give you 29,000. You pay your school fee from that, and then keep the balance. So if your school fee is 20,000, you keep the balance of 9,000, which will be relatively okay for you to pay for your accommodation and then feed while you're studying. And when you are done studying, it's almost automatic, because physics teachers are scarce in the UK as we speak. And beyond the UK, you can go to any other part of the world. You can migrate to Canada, to Australia, and to the Middle East. I think those who go to the Middle East tend to be, making a kill of money, because those ones, they have oil money and they are always happy to employ good quality teachers. So it does make sense for those who have engineering background, those who have physics background, and those who have been teaching physics, but studied maybe related courses for long, and you are very competent and you can defend it. And we will be happy to prepare you for the interviews, because there will be interviews for you to before you can be selected. But most of the time, if you know your onions, you will get through. So that's an easy way to get, to skate through, to go to the UK, study for 1 year. One of the challenges we have had with many Nigerians who are now in the UK is the fact that they discovered they were wrong in their choice of courses when they got to the UK. So what do I mean by that? So you find people who are teachers here, and when they want to do further studies in the UK, they go and select a course like Masters in Education Leadership. If you go to the UK to do Masters in Education Management or Education Leadership, you are not probably doing the right thing, because it doesn't, when you finish that 1 year course in the UK, it doesn't make you a professional teacher in the UK, because Masters in Education Leadership is not a certification for you to run a classroom. And we have so many Nigerians who left here without talking to people like us for guidance. And so they finish and they discover that the only job they can do is a care job. Whereas if you take, the route of going to do postgraduate certificate in education, even though it's not a master's, you will be more comfortable. You get into a professional career in education in the UK. Whereas people who have masters in side kinds of things regarding education will be struggling to find their spaces, and it's usually difficult for them to find their feet. So please, let's be properly guided. Let's do the right thing at the right time, so that we don't go and spend 50 million, 60 million to go and do masters in the UK, and we end up not picking up, the right courses, really. So this is much easier, especially for those who have the background that enables them to go for it. I will share a separate WhatsApp, link, which people who who have the capacity to benefit from it can join, and then we see how we can work with you to prepare you for that. It's a wonderful opportunity. And once you are able to get that kind of education, definitely it takes only one person for a whole family to be liberated. Sometimes one person for an entire community to be liberated. It's not a small opportunity that comes to people's ways. And then we have the platform, which is very huge for teachers, no matter what you're teaching. And when we say teachers, we are defining it broadly, which Alex discussed, with us. If you know how to drink tea better than others, and you want to teach people how to drink tea so that the tea they drink can cure them of ulcer, then you can create a course on that and launch it on this platform, which Alex discussed with us today. And people will come from all over the world to benefit from your course, rather than sitting down there and say, we are not paid well in the university. They don't recognize teachers here. University lecturers are not appreciated. Appreciate yourself by launching courses and making money from them. So reach out to me. I tend to pick calls in the evenings between 7 and 9 o'clock. Most other times I'm in presentation halls and seminars and workshops, trying to help people develop skills they need to be able to live good lives. So on that note, we want to thank you for joining us. If you have any question, you can reach out to me. The telephone number is in the chat box. If you pick it up, save it. If you don't already have it, I expect that everybody on this platform is somebody who has been interacting with me one way or the other. Either you are on a teacher's platform. Our Facebook platform is huge. It's benefiting people from over 100 countries around the world. It's the largest teachers platform in the world. It's vibrant and is winning international awards, and we thank God for what He's using us to do, benefiting the global education industry. So the attention we're attracting from both within and outside Nigeria is justified. It's because we're occupying a space that looks like it's making a huge difference in the lives of students, teachers, parents, and school leaders. And as we close, let me call attention to, if you're a parent here, or you're a student, or you are a teacher or a school leader, and you would want your school to benefit from training that brings in experts in psychiatry, in education, in management, in leadership, and the value of the training is worth over $100,000. The application is closed because you have found time to come to join us here. If you reach out to me and you convince me that your school deserves it, we let your school benefit from it. We train all your school owners and other leaders for free. We train the students for free to learn how to see opportunities globally, because some of the smart students in the Nigerian schools don't have to sit down here and waste away. There are scholarships all around the world, in Europe, in Denmark, in Finland, in Sweden, in Canada, in UK, and in the US. The challenges in the US are not going to last forever. Things are already clearing. The coast is becoming clear. And so you don't have to wait until we get to the point where everybody can now go back to where things used to be. So it's possible to study for free in the advanced societies, both within Europe and North America. And of course, even in New Zealand and in Australia. Scholarships are in all of these places. And so we'll come to your school and expose your children, the students in the school, to all these opportunities for free, and train your school counselor to be able to know what to do, and then work with parents, train them. We will launch a parents seminar, a parents conference within the school, and we offer it for free. The total value of what we're offering is about $10,000. And so we have already offered it to a good number of, we are going beyond. It's an African project. So we have selected schools from both within and outside Africa. But if you are a member of the Global Citizens Platform and your child is studying in the school that has not applied successfully for it, just reach out to me and I will see what I can do to see if we can give them a result. So on that note, thank you for joining us, and we hope that you'll be able to demonstrate that you are not only a hearer of what we say this evening. You are also going to be a doer and take immediate steps to take full advantage of the things we share this evening. On that note, bye-bye.